Lay down over there, buddy. Lay down over there. Good morning. What is going on out there in the land of YouTube this morning? How are you doing today? This week, next year, while you're here, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. If you would love if you hit that like button. What is going on? What is going on? Can you hear me? Can I get a 5x5 if you guys can hear me? Can I get a 5x5 if you guys can hear me? Let me know. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me see if I can hear now. Can you hear me now? What is going on with the Playboy? What is going on with the Playboy? Can you hear me now? Let me know. I can't see the comments yet. Now we're a 5x5. What's up, Playboy? So I have Deboraugh Rodgers information listed. As you guys can see it, it's on the screenshot. Yum, good to see you. You know, so for people like Yum who comes in and is like, you know, a real ally and is crushing it and is like, you know, I really like you, Yum. So just so you guys know, anybody, you know, so, okay. So I put Deboraugh Rodgers information. I put her information. If you guys noticed, it's on the screenshot video. You know, it's like she's in that jail. So I want to talk about that. I went to jail, and so here's what happened. You know, what I was offering Deboraugh was exposure. I was offering her exposure. That's what I was offering. So I was trying to expose her case. What's up, the tribe? How you guys doing, Tommy? What's going on? Sorry, I think we're buffering a little bit. I'm in the middle of nowhere, obviously, or it wouldn't be buffering. So Chuck, what's going on, Chuck? How you doing, buddy? So listen, here's what happened with Deboraugh. Deboraugh Rodgers decided to challenge the jurisdiction. Deboraugh Rodgers decided that she would challenge the jurisdiction of the Oklahoma Nation. Yeah, it's on the screenshot, Christy. Her information's on the screenshot of the cover of this video. You definitely can put some money in her commissary. You can get her some minutes on the phone, some email minutes. Listen, just so you know, the jail, they get you 3 or 4 different ways. So I've put 25 bucks down on 3 different things. One is for texts, one is for emails, and the other is for phone calls. So they have 3 different systems. One for text, one for email, one for phone call. So I've spent 75 bucks in communication, and all I've done is text her a few times because the email doesn't work that good. What's going on, Tim? How you doing, buddy? Good to see everybody this morning. How's everybody doing? So get this. I drove and I fell asleep on the side of the road. I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was just so exhausted, right? So I fell asleep on the side of the road at like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I woke up and there was a cop at my window because I had pulled over where all the truckers were pulled over, but then it was like 8:30 in the morning. The truckers leave at like 6:37, but I stopped at 5, so I didn't have enough sleep. So I slept from 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. At 8:30 a.m., I woke up to a cop knocking on my window. And so, you know, my dog hates pigs, so he was going crazy. He was barking like crazy. So I woke up and I rolled the window down, you know, and you know what I'm doing with these guys, with these cops, you know, I'm just taking each one of them now, how they treat me, the way they are, and then I treat them with the same amount of emotion and decency that they treat me. That's what I do. And so, no, I didn't even have, I was dead asleep. I mean, I was dead asleep. Charlie does not like pigs. He was going crazy. But anyway, the cop came up to the window. He tapped on the window. You know, the windows are pitch black. I mean, you can't see in this. What's going on, P-Rex? You cannot see inside of this window, just so you know. From the outside, it's limousine black. You cannot see in this car. So anyway, I rolled the window down and he said, hey, I was just checking on you. I didn't know if anybody was actually in the car because I couldn't see in. And I said, yeah, I fell asleep at 5. I'm just so tired. I was asleep still. It takes me like 10 minutes to wake up because I'm over 40. Some people can wake up and they're just fire. It takes me like 5-10 minutes to just wake up. And that's the whole thing about not having the coffee. I still do 1 cup of coffee in the morning. I eat less meat. Anyway, that's so anyway, so I said, I just, you know, and then he said, well, I hope you're okay. And I said, thank you. I said, hey, thanks for waking me up. I got to get back on the road, dude. I gave him a fist bump and he walked away. He walked away. So, you know, I've been talking about this more and more, and I talked to someone last night, and she was telling me, she said, Chille, she said, look, you know, when you walk up to the cop and you say to them, you know, do you know that when you pull out behind someone that you scare them? And that's the question I've been asking these cops, right? They already know that. See, and there's a piggy right there hiding on the side of the road. There's a piggy right there hiding on the side of the road. I'd like to just pull over and ask him what he's doing. I just like to pull over and ask him what he's doing. I got to get somewhere though. I got to do what I'm doing here. You guys, I'll tell you what, this next couple months, Azia, is that how you say it? This next couple months, you guys, is going to be amazing. I am putting things together in such a unique way. No one has ever seen anything like this before. I'm putting together transparency. I'm putting together a history of the United States of America. I'm really doing a lot over the next quarter. And so I'm looking forward to getting it done. There's so many things that I can't wait to teach as I was laying out the timeline for the new timeline. So I want to go back to Deboraugh here because I want people to understand what happened now that we got some people in the room. So let me tell you guys what happened with Deboraugh. So I went and met with Deboraugh in Oklahoma, and I looked at the motion she was filing. I looked at all the work she did. You know, I will help people, you know, research law and help them with paperwork and stuff. I can't represent anybody, but I can help them with the mission that they're on as far as like they want to use this case, they want to use that case. Police accountable without hate in your heart. Well, Tim, you took, and you know, I can just say that I can match you on that. I can match you on that. You know, mine just wasn't caught on film because most of it was before camera phones. But yeah, I understand, Tim. Oh yeah, I think the queen died too. So anyway, I want to talk about Deboraugh for a minute. So listen, Deboraugh, I went over to Oklahoma to meet with her, to talk with her about her case, to see what she was doing with her. Now, she was charged with a misdemeanor. She had 2 misdemeanor charges. And then, you know, we talked about the motion to file that the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation didn't have jurisdiction over her. It's on my website on DeletelawZ. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, you can see Deboraugh Rodgers' motion that the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation doesn't have a legal charter to have jurisdiction over her. Okay, now listen, here's what happens. So Deboraugh goes to court, and she filed the motion a week in advance. I was there, you remember, we filmed it. And she's saying, hey, you know, you guys don't have jurisdiction. Now, she's charged with 2 misdemeanors. So there's no felonies. There's likely no jail time here, just so you guys know. And it's my belief that you always want to fight the power from freedom. You don't want to fight the power from inside of a jail cell. That's my perspective. Now, I support Deboraugh, whatever she wants to do. She's, you know, if the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation doesn't have a charter, then she's welcome to fight that. But what I said to Deboraugh was simple facts. It wasn't legal advice. It was simple facts. I said, Deboraugh, these charges probably don't carry any jail time. You could probably get out of this by fighting you could probably fight the merits of the case on their own. And then you probably will either, I mean, even if you lose the case, which I would not take a plea deal, but even if you lose the case, then you're still probably not going to go to jail. That's what I told her. So now Now, I talked to her the morning of court. I have 2 phones and she has 2 phones. So I was goes to court and they're reading that they're going to start. And so Deboraugh decides, what they call them over there in the tribal court. But are you going to consider, now this is all third party information. So I haven't even got to talk to her on the phone yet. And I already paid for the phone call. Okay. So how much were we missing, Mandy? Sorry, I'm just blah blah blah. We're buffering a little bit. I'm really in the middle of nowhere, so sorry. I'll repeat myself right here. Right, even if she was guilty, exactly, the citizens, she shouldn't have been abused that way. And I said to her, you can fight the ticket and we can still sue them. We can file a federal civil rights lawsuit against them. It doesn't matter if Cherokee Nation has jurisdiction or not. It matters that we can still sue them no matter what occurs here. So anyway, so Deboraugh Rodgers goes to court that morning, and what she does is she decides that when the judge says that that the judge is not gonna hear the motion about the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation, about the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation having jurisdiction over her, and the judge says, okay, so I'll say it again, Mandy, thanks for letting me know that. So the morning that Deboraugh Rodgers went to court, I'm going back about 5 minutes here, and what's going on? How you doing, Pamela? What's going on, Pamela? How you doing? She goes to court that morning. You know, I went to Oklahoma. I watched what she was doing. I didn't participate in any assistance for Deboraugh for her legal paperwork at all whatsoever. I didn't have any input. I was just a fly in the room as she worked away with a friend on her paperwork. I just sat and watched. That's all I did. And so I did that for a couple days, and then after that, she had court that morning. You guys remember she had court that morning? And nice job, Pamela. Congratulations on your court date. And so she went to court that morning, and I had called her on my phones, and she has 2 phones and I have 2 phones. And then she called me on her other phone. So we missed each other the morning that she was going to court. And so I didn't know Deboragh's plans. But when she went to court, she's being charged with 2 misdemeanors. I told her that you're probably not going to go to jail on these. You know, you can fight them on the merits of the case. I guess I picked the one stretch of, I know it, Trent Freeman, I know it. I'll get out of here, guys. Listen, I'll come back on in about an hour. I'm going to get an hour down the road, maybe get into a little bit city or something, and I will come back on. I just want to make sure that but do me a favor, if you guys would do me a favor, take a look at the screenshot. Take a look at the screenshot for the thumbnail of this video that has Deboragh's information on it. If you dropped her $5 or $10 in her commissary, that wouldn't hurt her feelings. That wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings, you know. She's a fighter. I had no idea she was going to walk out of court that morning. I had no idea she was going to turn and just walk out of court. She didn't tell me that. I don't think I can call her. I'm waiting to hear from her now. I will, as soon as I get her on the phone, I will definitely put the call on live. So I'm just waiting. You know, I could take a look at my other phone here and see if I have any way to reach her. I just don't think I do. But let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Thank you for calling Prodigy Solutions. Prodigy provides phone, video, and commissary services to county jails. If you know your party's 4-digit extension, you may dial it at any time. Prodigy is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. To purchase phone time with a live operator.
I already did that. So that's her inmate number right there. That's her inmate number right there. And so that's her information if you guys want to reach out to her. You know, and just so you guys know, when you're in the dungeon, you know, and I try to explain this to people, and they just, you know, I'll be honest with you, and that's why there's that saying, back the blue till it happens to you. Because the simple truth is that unless you've been in the dungeon and you understand how you're treated like your life doesn't matter, how you're treated like you're thirsty doesn't matter, like you're hungry doesn't matter, like you need your medication doesn't matter, like you're afraid of the guy in your cell or the girl in your cell, that doesn't matter, you know. And so if you don't understand how horrific the dungeon is unless you've been there. If you've been to the dungeon, push a number 1 and hit and put dungeon. Put number 1 and put dungeon. Put number 2 and put no. That way I can read it, because obviously I can't look at my screen for more than a half a second. I've got to make sure I keep my eyes forward here. But if you've been to the dungeon, push a number 1 and dungeon. Put a number 2 and no if you have not been to the dungeon. So BC's been to the dungeon, Bradley's been to the dungeon, Bruce, Philip's been to more than one day. Make sure you got to be in there more than one day. Citizen's been in there. Pamela's been in the dungeon. Blake's never been in the dungeon. Congratulations, Blake. Jay Johnson. 5 years, huh, BC? That must have been just frickin' brutal. God bless you, Troll Hunter. I'm glad you've never been in the dungeon. Thank God, Mandy. Listen, and just so you guys know, the people pushing the number 2, I'm happy for you. Spending that week in the dungeon when in 2002, when they charged me with a bunch of felonies that were based on 100% lies. You know, they charged me with a bunch of crimes based on a confidential informant, and come to find out, the guy was lying. There wasn't a single word he was saying that was true, other than I had a possession of a drug that they had criminalized 4 months earlier. Like, you guys understand that I was charged with 5 felonies for a chemical that was legal 4 months earlier. I had been taking that same chemical for 2 years, and they charged me with 5 felonies. And when they raided me with the SWAT team, the confidential informant had told them that I was some drug dealer. So they came to my house thinking I was a drug dealer. And then people on here are like, oh, you took a diversion program for dealing drugs. Someone tell me about a diversion program for dealing drugs. Let me know who gets a diversion besides Spulgeric. Besides Bradley Spooge, only cops get diversion programs for being drug dealers. I was never a drug dealer or even remotely close. Had nothing to do with it. I was charged, and what I did was I had to take a diversion program for possession of a drug. Not selling a drug, not distributing a drug, not manufacturing a drug, with possession. All other charges were dismissed. So I just want to be clear. I have no problem telling the whole truth. And believe me, there are people right now who are terrified that I'll say everything. Because there was people involved in this that if I say everything, it'll ruin them. It's coming. The gloves are off for me, so I don't have any compassion for people when they have done nothing but try to hurt me. So I just don't have any. For me, it's done. For me, it's done. Terry, that's just in the beginning. I think you guys can hear me now, right? Give me if you can hear me okay. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay. What's going on, Sly? Just saw your name come across. I can't look at the phone because this is not a self-driving car, so I really have to try to stay focused on the... Yeah, hit refresh, Terry. Close your app and reopen it, or close YouTube and reopen it. Yeah, so did you guys see that yesterday? So did I wrap up Deboraugh here? I want to make sure the thumbnail of this video has her inmate number, her jail, her information to reach out to her. You know, what's really sad, and what's really sad is I have to put the information out there for you guys, you can reach her. But what's really sad are the pathetic people who are going to take the information and just try to say mean and spiteful and hateful things to that woman who is in a frickin' dungeon. In a freaking dungeon. And you unless you've been there, you just don't know what I'm talking about. You know, it was so funny. You know, I had such a positive interaction at court yesterday with that judge, and you know, he said something to me, and I don't want to. That's why I find it so ridiculous funny that people are like. I give you credit card? I give you credit card? Yeah. Thanks. You didn't miss anything, Chevy. We're just getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed up. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so we continue down the road here. I know it. All right. We'll continue this talk later, but I just want to you know, I want people to be able to reach out to her and put some money on her commissary and put a couple bucks on her phone tab so that she can make some phone calls, okay? And I'll come back in about an hour as soon as I get out of this. I am, all right? So listen, thanks for coming by. We don't stop. We don't stop. And take out, I'm not gonna